I'm recording.
I'm recording.
Razor?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3, clap. 1, 2, 3, clap. 1, 2, 3, clap. Okay. And
And we're live?
now we're live.
All right. Excellent.
Theoretically.
Well, yeah.
We'll see if this works. I don't see anything different. All right. Looks like we're live. Hello to the no one out there. I'm Jen Briney. This is what I look like. And welcome to the Congressional Dish Facebook Live Election Night event. I am here with some of my favorite people in the world. This is Matt Acklin, one of my favorite people from high school.
Hi, everybody.
This is Mike Glazer. We met 2 years ago.
Howdy.
This is Kristen. How do I say your last name?
I'm offended, Jen.
You should be.
Kadena, Kristen Kadena.
Oh.
And this is Dominic Tafoya.
Good to see you.
And then over there we have husband Joe Briney and Peter Bowie, and they're going to be feeding us election results. And yeah, so we are just chilling, drinking beers, and if you're easily offended, watch something else. So.
Can you feed me another beer, actually?
Yes, we need more beers.
Is the Pope Catholic?
We hope so.
I want to lubricate my decision making as much as possible.
All right, so can you guys check on your computers
wait,
and
I
see
need
if
to
we're
open it.
actually live? 'Cause I
Yeah,
don't see
you
anything
are.
on my page.
You're good.
Okay.
I have a speedometer type thing on New York Times, and it's to the 10th significant digit, and it's shifting constantly as if it were like I was watching a stock.
Oh, like a
ticker
predictor
update.
thing?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, how is it updating every half second? Do you have no? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, so if people comment, we're able to see that.
And people can see my screen, so I keep the porn to a minimum.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good to know.
Be a gentleman today, at least, Dom.
Or full screen.
I mean, I don't
We'll
see
put the
why
links.
not.
We'll put the links in the show notes.
I mean, one way or another, America's getting fucked. You might as well put.
That, hey,
Hey,
you're not
hey,
wrong.
that's
It's
it's actually
so
pretty on
accurate.
point. So,
Yeah. Yeah, we are witnessing bad history in some way or another tonight. So.
It's kind of like watching, reality TV where it's like you can't turn away. It's like watching a slow train wreck. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Except this has actual consequences. All right. Ooh, we are live.
So what's the first swing to really be deciding, usually?
Well, I don't know, Joe. So you
had
said
like
we had
80%
some
on Florida,
results.
right?
What do we know so far?
Hillary won New York, or they're calling it for New York,
Well, no shit.
and Trump's ahead in Florida.
Trump's ahead in Florida. Do we know how many? Like, what's the percentage of?
It was
Because that's
really
the thing
close.
too.
It
If
was
it's
like
like 20%
48. Did you
reporting.
lose your
No,
YouTube?
it was higher than that. It was, I think
No,
it was like
I'm so good.
89 or 90%, but they hadn't called it for because Florida.
Hmm.
Alright. What about like congressional races? I know that the East Coast has been closed for a while.
I've got a couple of names I've seen they called it for. If you want me to just rattle them off,
Yeah, come over here. I don't think we can hear you.
Senate or the House? What are you doing?
Senate.
All right, we have a few commenters.
I got my mic working too, so I don't know.
Anyone who's watching this live, you need to let us know if like you can't hear us or if it freezes because we have no idea.
These are the only ones I've seen so far that they've called, and then
So we have Richard Blumenthal coming back.
Marco Rubio looks like.
Little Marco! Really?
Yeah.
He won it? They're calling it?
Yeah, New York Times called it for Marco.
Wow. Let's see. How are we going to do this, Joe? How are you going to tell me?
I just gotta catch up.
You should just pop up from underneath the table.
you want another?
Yeah, I could
like nowadays, post 2008, I feel like there are different Democrats now than what they used to be, if that makes any sense. And I mean that more in the context that as we've seen a lot of money kind of come in politics, the game has changed, or at least in my opinion, the game has changed. But what do I know? I'm just some schmuck that's sitting in your living room.
No, plenty. I'm just looking at this because I have a list of how many years they've been in Congress. And actually, no, there's a lot of old Democrats in here, dude. We have Harry Reid, who might be gone, but he's been there for 29 years.
Patrick
29
Leahy
years?
Leahy's back?
Leahy's back.
Oh, good. He's one of my favorite investigative people. So if we have so here's the thing: if Trump ends up winning, which by the way I haven't even considered as a possibility until I saw it in Florida, it's possible.
When we actually realized people
Yeah.
could vote for him.
Until now, it was an excuse to buy Patron, but now it's oh shit.
We might actually be drinking that.
Yeah, that might be a huge possibility. It's kind of
Yeah. In which case, I
Mind-wrecking.
like having Patrick Leahy in charge of the Senate Judiciary Committee because during the Bush years, he gave a shit, and so that's how I know a lot of the things that I know. Patrick Leahy, so I'm stoked that he's back. That's a good one.
It's so interesting to hear you talk about specific keystones for you to get access to certain information, or because when I think of the government more as just a system, and there's an output, and then I wonder why it doesn't work the right. And then I hear it doesn't work the way that I think it should, and then I hear you talk about it, and you're throwing out, hey, this individual is doing these actions, it's helping me. It literally comes down to a couple people in a hearing or something speaking up, and yeah, a hearing that no one is watching on C-SPAN, and no one is, that's...
Not no one. There's one.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's what's interesting about the wave of entertainment with infotainment and the engagement in the political process. I would love if Stephen Colbert could. He's doing so much already, I think, in how he tries to, put comedy into the intellectual element of politics.
Mm-hmm.
But to get that a level deeper to the houses of Congress would be honestly outstanding,
Absolutely.
right?
John
Yeah.
Stewart used to do that. I miss him so much.
I miss him so much.
He would always just hit it on the park. So
And even when Colbert would be know your district, he would say, get to know your district, or I can't remember what segment it was, but then he'd throw up the map and go into some small district, and one
Yeah,
time
it
I
was so
remember
good.
he interviewed some guy who was one of the key, the guy who's actually filling out the paperwork to gerrymander and redraw the lines on the districting, and he's just down there doing his work, and Stephen Colbert was like, hey, you're just made some joke about how you're destroying democracy, and he's like, it's resilient, and I was just thinking about how
it's been around forever. You're not killing them.
I would never know this guy
It's
was
dead.
down there doing this work.
Do you remember what state that's
No,
Because
no.
One of the things that really...
And I may be crossing segments too. He may have done this interview and it wasn't get to know your
I
district,
could completely
I
be
could-
lying to you.
Colbert,
We don't check
It's like full disclosure, just in case. If anyone- If anyone fact checks me, just in case.
Well, one of the things, and especially with gerrymandering that really, kind of blew my mind is when you look at the way, specifically Austin, Texas, is district. I mean, the city is just broken up into districts that go way the fuck out, and it's obviously that changes, who their representatives are going to be, and who.
They split it into 5.
Oh, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy, and it's obviously the way that it's split up is so you have more of a conservative voice for a very liberal town.
Yeah.
I mean, it blows my mind to see how that. I mean, and this is coming from a guy that living in Texas for 7 years. It's I had a lot of great experiences there, and but it's just interesting to see how some of the politics are run, and it just specifically with the Austin stuff, they used to blow my mind.
Yeah.
Just blow my mind.
I'm gonna share a map of that because it's insane.
Obama did a town hall. God, how recent was this? Can't remember any of the details. Someone
That's
stopped
fine.
talking about it. Actually, I have a computer in front of me. But it was on PBS, and he did a lot of really good explanations of various topics, but one of them was gerrymandering, and he just talked about how because it's happened on both sides, Democrats and Republicans, there's very few actual districts that are truly competitive and would swing.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Well, there's a fucking name for it. Project Red Map is an actual thing. And
yeah.
that's the Republicans. They thought of it first. So for 2010, because the way these districts are drawn is it's done by the census. So every 10 years, the party that's in control of the state legislatures, that's who gets to redraw them. So the Republicans figured out that if they could just win a bunch of the states in 2010, then they get to draw the congressional districts, and they did.
So you do realize there was a time in Texas where a bunch of the Democrats like left the state because they were trying not to have a vote on